Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all my friends and our beloved lecturer, Madam Nadia. So today our group will present about self-development skill and strategy in holistic development approach. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Aziza Afika binti Ibrahim. So before we start our presentation, I hope everyone to stay focused and feel free to ask the question. Alright, the first topic that we look today is about holistic development approach. In this section, you will look about what is holistic development approach, what's holistic development approach in the context of education, and what is the example of learning in the holistic development approach, and what is the 4 aspects in holistic development approach. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, before that, I would like to say the words from Maria Montessori about holistic development. She said, education cannot be effective unless it helps a child open up himself to life. Interesting, right? Okay, so why holistic development approach? Holistic development approach become more important today than in the last century from the early stage of child development, because the child will learn a different thing at the different stages. From that, they are able to develop practical, emotional, social and spiritual that capable them to facing the demands and the challenges of everyday life. Okay, in the context of education, holistic development approach is prepare for the lifelong learning, saying that it is a comprehensive approach that aim to develop multiple phases or ability of the human brain. As we know, every child have a unique personality trait, interest, value, attitude, strength and weakness. Doing that, educational curriculum must able to help to find alignment with the uniqueness they have. Also, in Malaysia Education Blueprint also state that Malaysia curriculum committed to developing the child holistically as reflected in the National Education Philosophy. And also, our ministry also require that every student need to participate in at least one sport, one club and one uniform body activity. From my previous experience, I entered the sport which is the tennis sport, and the club which is the English club, and the one uniform body which is the Red Crescent. From that, we can see that when we enter these 3 activity, we able to build our leadership skill, social skill, communication skill. Alright, from this picture, I would like to say that holistic approach motivate children to instill the curiosity and learn naturally. As we can see that these 3 children play together. From that, they must be talk with each other. From that, they are able to build the social skill, communication skill, right? Okay, good. Here, I will show you the 4 type of learning, which is the example of holistic development approach in education. Okay, the first learning is about the student-centered learning. Which is the student need to design their own project. From that, they are able to build their leadership skill. The second one is about the cooperative or collaborative learning, where the student need to share their project together. From that, they are able to create the social skill. And the third one is about the social learning, where the student need to interact with the broader society, not just in group, but also with another group. From that, they are able to develop a critical thinking skill. And the fourth learning is about experiential learning, where the student exposed with more than one sense. From that, student able to develop the sense and the mind will grow both physically and spiritually. Alright, I hope you can see the example in the learning, which is holistic development. Okay, so here we can see the 4 aspects in holistic development approach, which is the emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and practical intelligence, and the last one is spiritual intelligence. I hope everyone can stay focused for the next 4 aspects that we present from our group mate. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Aziza. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, everyone. My name is Esra Ramadhan, and I will explain further into one of the self-development skill, which is known as emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive emotion, integrate emotion to facilitate thought, understand emotion, and to regulate emotion to promote personal growth. It also known as EQ, which stands for emotional quotient, which also known as the ability to perceive, control, and evaluate emotion of those of the people around you. Next, we will go to 5 elements of EQ. The first one is self-awareness. The second one is self-regulation, following by motivation, empathy, and lastly, social skill. Let's look further into this element of emotional intelligence. The first one will be self-awareness. This means the ability to recognize and understand personal moods, emotion, and drive, and the effect of both of them on self and others. Self-awareness is also essential for realistic self-assessment and build self-confidence and ability to take oneself less seriously, which also means having a clear picture of your strength and weakness and behaving with humility. So, how to improve your self-awareness? The first one is keep a journal. Spending a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts can move you to a higher degree of self-awareness. The second one is slow down. When experiencing anger or other strong emotion, slow down to understand why. We'll go to the next element, which is self-regulation. Self-regulation is all about staying in control, which also covers flexibility and commitment to personal accountability. It also refers to the ability to control and redirect destructive emotional impulse and moods. Those with this ability will frequently demonstrate trustworthiness, integrity, comfort with ambiguity, and openness to change. How to improve your self-regulation ability? The first one is knowing your values, which means knowing where and when you can and cannot compromise by examining the code of active. The second one is hold yourself accountable, which means stop blaming others if something goes wrong. Make a commitment to admit your mistake and face the consequences. This will help you earn the respect of those around you. The third one is practice being calm. Be aware of how you act when meeting with challenging situations. Practice deep breathing exercise can calm yourself. How I'm so calm. Next one is motivation. Motivation refers to working consistently toward their goals and having an extremely high standard for quality of their work. Mostly an inner vision of what is important, a curiosity and desire such as money and status. In order to improve your motivation, first one is recap back why you started. By remembering why you want it, it helps you to look at your situation in a new way. The second one is be hopeful and find something good. Be optimistic no matter what the problem face. Look for at least one good thing about the situation, such as an important lesson learned. Let's go to the next element, which is empathy. Empathy is the ability to put themselves in someone else's situation. It refers to the ability to understand emotional makeup of others and the skill to treat people according to their emotional reaction. This will help building and maintaining relationships, challenge others who are acting unfairly, and listen to those who need it. There are 2 ways to improve your empathy, which is put yourself in someone else's position. By taking the time to look at the situation from other people's perspective, as it is easy to support your own point of view. The second one is pay attention to body language, which means body language can actually tell others how you really feel about a situation and a hidden message. Learning to read body language can help you assist in determining how someone truly feels by responding appropriately. Let's go to the last element of emotional intelligence, which is social skill. Social skill involve the ability to manage relationships, build network, find common ground, and build rapport. It also refers to a good communicator and also good at managing change and resolving conflict diplomatically. It often helpful in leading change, being persuasive, building expertise, and getting great performance from team. In order to improve your social skill, there are 3 ways. Learn how to resolve conflict, improve your communication skill, and lastly, learn how to praise others. As when you praise others, it shows that you appreciate their effort. Next, we will go to the importance of emotional intelligence. The first one is you will become more adaptable. The second one, you will be more outperforming and successful compared to others. The third one, emotional intelligence can assist in physical and mental health. The fourth one is having a happy and strong relationship. Lastly, how to improve your emotional intelligence. There are 6 examples of how to improve your EQ, which is be motivated, do a self-evaluation, 3. Be approachable and sociable. The fourth one, respond instead of reacting to conflict. The fifth is take responsibility and critique well. The sixth is utilize an assertive style of communication. That's all from me. Next, I will pass the floor to our next presenter, Haslini.
Hi everyone, I am Nur Haslini, and before we continue with the second types of intelligence, I want you to inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Okay, good. Let's continue our lesson. Do you know what social intelligence is? Okay, let me tell you. Mercer and Nonu said social intelligence refers to people's ability to deal with social relationships effectively, cooperate and collaborate with others, create and participate in healthy and caring relationships. In simpler words, social intelligence refers to our ability to build relationships with people. It is about figuring out the best way to get along with others. In students' context, this intelligence can contribute towards enhanced classroom participation, intensive language use, and strong academic performance. But how about teacher? Teacher that's socially intelligent can have positive social relationship with colleagues, trust and rapport, as well as exchange of materials and ideas. Next, let's take a look on the elements of social intelligence. The first one is verbal and non-verbal fluency. Conversational skills are the most basic form of social intelligence. In school, some students can sense whether the teacher is angry, happy, or sad based on the teacher's expression or body language. For example, when students are talking, teacher gives the signal by glaring her eyes to keep them shut. Socially intelligent students will understand this signal and keep quiet. The second one is knowledge of social roles, rules, and script. When you interact with a group, knowing their social rules and customs is a fundamental skill. It helps to facilitate interaction with individuals who belong to different social groups. For example, When we talk to people with different culture, such as Chinese and Tamil, we do not touch the sensitive part of their culture, norms, or religions. It is unwritten rule, but we all know it. The last one is effective listening skills. Socially intelligent people are great listeners. It helps to connect with people and prevent conflicts. As a result, others come away from an interaction with social intelligence person will feel as if they had a good connection with him or her. Next, let's take a look on importance of social intelligence. I divided it into individual and group. Okay, for individual, it helps to build relationship with other people because they can read other people's faces and know what motivates them, so that they can act in the way that please the people around them. But for group, by understanding other people, they can find ways to collaborate for mutual benefit. In students' context, students that are socially intelligent can do assignment in a group and act as a team. Last but not least, let's take a look on the ways to develop social intelligence. Firstly, as a teacher, we need to develop social intelligence by working on communication skills, which requires active listening. Listen carefully and be present in conversation. When speak with others, we need to maintain eye contact and don't get distracted by averting gaze or checking telephone. During conversations, pay close attention to what is said, actively ask questions, and write down any item that need to remember. Plus, don't interrupt when people are talking. Take time to think about what someone else is saying before you respond. Secondly, we as a teacher need to seek opportunities to encourage our students. When you encourage and help students, it connects with them. When student does something well, tell him or her in person that we appreciate the excellence of his or her work. Develop the habit of always looking for ways to encourage and help the students. Lastly, we need to be a role model. To strengthen social intelligence among students, you must model it so that students will observe and emulate what you do. Some of the students may require coaching. If you see they doing something that is socially unintelligent, take time to speak with him or her in private. We as a teacher need to take part and play a role to develop social intelligence among our students so that they can connect with people and function well in the society. I hope this sharing will give some idea on what is social intelligence. Thank you for your attention, and let's proceed with the next type of intelligence.
Assalamualaikum everyone. So next, let me proceed with practical intelligence. What is the definitions of practical intelligence? It is the ability of individual to deal with the problems and situations in everyday life, as where you are adapting to your environments, changing your environments, or selecting a environment. Example, if you're having a problems and how you handle those problems. Those things are what we call practical intelligence. So practical intelligence is also known as, do you have any ideas? Intelligence also known as common sense. Common sense is sound and prudent judgment based on experience rather than study. Generally, it's a form of a practical decision making and ability to imagine the consequences of something that you do. And what else? This is street smart. Street smart is actually its opposite term for book smart. So, street more passionate and can usually find an answer to a problem through trial and error. The one who like to try and error, you are street smart persons. You know your way around and you know how to handle yourself in tough situations, and you always learning from experience. That's what we call practical intelligence. There are central elements of practical intelligence, which is tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is action-oriented knowledge. Okay, action-oriented, acquired without direct help from others, that allow individuals to achieve goals that they personally value. Synonym to tacit is unsaid, unspoken, unexpressed. Those are the words that you're common with, right? So tacit is actually unspoken, unsaid, unexpressed knowledge. As you know, there are knowledge iceberg theory, right? So Nanaka and Takeuchi in 1995 have stated that knowledge of iceberg divided into two, which is the tip of the iceberg and the bulk of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is known as explicit knowledge, such as book, manuals, video, precise document, pictures, opposite to the tacit knowledge, which is the undocumented, unwritten knowledge, unspoken knowledge, intuition. What is intuition? Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively, without the need of conscious. So the instincts is based on our tacit knowledge. As we know, tacit knowledge is mostly come from the experience. Importance of students' practical intelligence. So the first one is build the self-confidence of the students. Self-confidence is an attitude on skill and ability. It means the student accept and trust themselves and have a sense of control in their life as they know their own strengths and weakness very well. And the second one is manage to differentiate effective working style among subject matter, as which approach that they think it is effective for them in studying maths, language, or for another subject as well. And the third one is ability to capitalize on strength and compensate for weakness as benefit from self-knowledge. Now, we already know once the definitions of practical intelligence, the element of the practical intelligence, and also the importance. Now, let's proceed with the how to develop student practical intelligence. As I mentioned before, practical intelligence is not something that our student can get through book or YouTube videos. However, there are curriculum interventions designed to enhance practical thinking skills among the students. It is called Themes of Practical Intelligence for Schools Curriculum. There are a research conducted in California in 2002 as their aim is to boost student achievement by creating an intervention that will develop practical intelligence among students. There are 5 steps to develop students' practical intelligence. The first one is why. As we believe that students will benefit from understanding the purpose behind the task that they are asked to do in school, such what is the point of doing homework and what is important to read. By this, students will be aided by an awareness on how learning is relevant to their life now and how they can use it to improve their life now and later. The second one is knowing self, as an assessing one's own work and one's personal strengths and weaknesses. is an integral component of practical competence, both schools and life. Recognizing their own current homework or reading habits, as identifying the strength and weakness in those habits is their first step in improving their work. As for the third one is knowing difference. As a working style that is very effective in handling math assignment, may be ineffective in writing an essay. Once student can see difference, they can also begin to think critically and see connection between various aspects of school and life in general. And the fourth one is how should students tackle an assignment or a problems. So let's help students plan their works, develop effective strategy for problem solving, and draw upon a wide variety of resources in overcoming difficulty. Last is revisiting. As a focus on a particular kind of reflections that is especially useful, such as reread text, revise writing, reworking homework, or reviewing tests. Student learns that going to extra mile to review and revise is the hallmark of the successful students. So now, there are 5 themes to develop students' practical intelligence.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone! Are you excited to know about spiritual intelligence? Let's get through this video to know more about it. Oh, before that, let's take a deep breath together. It helps us to be more relaxed. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, good. I wanna ask you, have you ever heard Malay proverb saying, tak kenal maka tak cinta? I'm sure you are familiar with it. So first, let me share with you the definition of SQ. According to Zoha and Marshall, IQ and EQ are an integral part of SQ. As you can see, SQ involves the whole brain as it is the most important attribute of human beings. Here are the definition of SQ from different researchers. Robert Emmons described SQ as intelligence that helps in facilitating everyday problem solving and goal achievement. Besides, Sally mentioned that SQ is more than individual mental ability. It implies awareness of our relationship to each other, to the earth, and all beings. SQ can be developed with practice and expressed in and culture as love, wisdom, and service. Plus, Yerushalmi defined SQ as a type of intelligence that ensures people accepting failures as success. SQ helps a person to consider failure as experience on the way to success. To conclude, IQ is important for entrance into educational institution. EQ is essential for success in life, and SQ is useful for a meaningful life. Next, let's proceed to the components of SQ. Most people assume that becoming religious is a sign of having high SQ. However, King mentioned that SQ is conceptualized as a different form of moral identity, meaning having spiritual intelligence does not define a person as religious. So now, let me introduce to you the components of SQ. According to Vagenis, there are 3 components of SQ. Firstly, the ability to create meaning based on a deep understanding of essential questions. Secondly, awareness of and the ability to use multiple levels of consciousness in problem solving. And thirdly, awareness of the interconnection of all beings to each other and to the transcendent. Next, let's continue to the importance of SQ. In this video, I'm going to share with you only 3 of the importance. What about others? Hey, explore by yourself. So, firstly, SQ maintains good body and mental health. Referring to Elmer, SQ contribute to a lower disease rate and longer life. Plus, Emmons mentioned that when facing an injury, spiritual-oriented people seem to respond better to intervention, better handle trauma, and have a lower depression rate. Secondly, SQ ensures students show more mercy to themselves and act more prudently in solving the problems they encounter. Yerushalmi said, we should consider our failures and success to produce meaning and apply it to our life. Have you ever heard a song titled The Climb? The song is one of my favorites because it sometimes lightens up my mood. There is a part of the lyrics that I love the most. Hey, let's sing with me. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. The struggles I'm facing, the chance I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's continue to the third point, which asks you makes a person becomes more confident. They start to accept themselves for who they are. By having SQ, they become aware of their values, thus feel more comfortable and at peace with themselves. Lastly, I'm going to share with you how to encourage students to have SQ. Drum roll! Okay, so teachers can improve students' SQ through the whole brain learning strategy. WBL can be defined as an instructional approach derived from neuro-linguistic awareness of the functions of the brain's left and right hemisphere. The researcher mentioned that when the process of thinking operates together with feelings, the optimal results of learning will begin. The best part of WBL that I want to share with you is the strategy directs the students to be more independent in learning, urge them to be more creative and initiative, and their role in learning becomes bigger. What did I mean by saying their role becomes bigger? Let me show you. So here are the 6 power teaching techniques that implemented in WBL. I start with class yes. So when the teacher said class, the students will reply yes. For hands and eyes, when the teacher said hands and eyes, the student will put their hands together and focus on the teacher. For teach okay, when the teacher said teach, the students will say okay, and they will face their friends and start to teach them information gained from micro lecture. To examine whether the students are mastering the information given, the teachers usually do a comprehension check before the end of the class. So, for the last part on how to encourage students to have spiritual intelligence, I'm going to share with you the whole brain learning 5 steps lesson. Okay, so class starts with teachers questioning students about learning objective. Then, the teacher provides the answer with a memorable gesture. And yeah, the teachers will present it in short chunks. So, for the third step, the answer to the lesson's question is expanded. I'm sure all of us realize that a key weakness in traditional instruction is presenting too much information at a time. So, in WBL, the teachers never include too much for students to easily digest. At a time, the teacher will say, teach. Then the students will repeat what they have learned to their friends. During teach okay, the teacher will check for comprehension. Oh yeah, there is a video of the teaching session that I have watched. There is a situation where a student made a mistake and his friend and the teacher did not laugh at him, but they said something like, "Oh, you are still cool." And with a big smile, the student corrected his mistake and presented confidently to his friend. Oh my god, this is so heartwarming. Okay, let's continue for the 4th step. The students need to close their eyes and the teacher will read statements related to the lesson. So, the class signals. If the statement is true, they do like this. And if the statement is false, they do like this. In the meantime, the teacher will record the students' comprehension. Lastly, the teacher employs advanced critical thinking skills, usually in the form of writing tasks. Inshallah, by applying this whole brain learning strategy, we will see that students' energy remains high even at the end of 20 minutes lesson. Inshallah. That is all from me about spiritual intelligence. And yeah, before that, thank you for watching this video. And if you have any question, just drop them in the comment section. Thank you and